Okay, here we go with the third instalment of what Michael Masi did as race director in deploying the safety car and how he used the safety car when there were cars in the race which were lapped. Now this is about Michael Masi, but it's not just about Michael Masi. Remember, there are in the region of 10 people in race control. At least 10 people in race control in and around Michael Masi. They are all FIA employees. They all know the rules of the sport. They're all familiar with what goes on in safety car procedures because they're there time and time again. They see what goes on. They know what the rules are. They know the purpose of the rules. So what Brundle and Crofty present is often lies. I've just shown you the fact that Brundle once again is lying in this video, suggesting that some of the rules and regulations in Formula 1 are optional. Go through the rules, look for the section, go for the regulation, look for the section which says optional regulations. You'll be quite some time in looking for that because you won't find it. Because there isn't one that says optional regulations. In fact, show me a sport which says optional rules to it. Optional rules. There are rules and regulations, and that's what they are. They're rules and regulations. That's what they are. That's what you do. They're not rules that you can pick and choose whether or not you choose to use that rule on this occasion or not. Okay, they just are what they are. Anyway, Singapore 2019. There is only one lapped car, and that is Carlos Sainz. And I'm going to show you what happened. I'm going to chunk this one through as quick as I can because these are long laps. This safety car takes a long time. Okay, now you probably can't see it on your screens, but this occurs at 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 6 seconds into this coverage of the race on F1 TV. So 1 hour, 12 minutes and 6 seconds on. Let's see what that becomes when they go racing again. At turn 8, there is a white dot, which is George Russell. He's just been involved in a collision with Romain Grosjean, and Russell is out, causing a safety car. Now, at this moment in time, I'm going to turn the volume down on them, and I'm going to cut to data view. And data view will show us, if you look at all this, Sainz is a lap behind, but he's also 1 minute 16 seconds behind Kubica in 19th. Okay, so what happened is Sainz nearly got taken out, so he probably had to go back to the pits and get some stuff replaced. You can see here on lap right near the start, he started on softs by the looks of it, and then had to go to the pits, and he's gone onto hard tyres. Okay, so the incident would have happened early on. He'd have lost a lot of time, and he's ended up a lap down, but still trying to get something out of the race. Okay, even though he's well out of it. However, 1 minute 37 seconds behind the car that's in front of him. Okay, Russell is dropping down the field because he's out of the race. He's stationary, and all these cars are passing him. So he'll soon go to out. All right, but Sainz being 1:38 behind Kubica effectively. It's a long way back. Or is it 1:17 now? I don't know what they're calculating this on. That's got to be behind 18th place now because Russell is showing as being out. So this data is constantly updating, and it's the interval between Sainz and the car in front. Anyway, it's got on the screen yellow flag. They'll soon deploy the safety car. There you go, safety car deployed. Okay, so I'm going to switch back to tracker view and then chunk it through on tracker view to show you what's going on there. Remember, in the region of 1 minute 30 behind Kubica, who was the car in front of him. Tracker view. So, what does this look like on track? Sainz is the orange dot now at turn 8, coming towards turn 9. Kubica is here, having gone round turn 1, so Kubica's on the next lap ahead. Sainz is a significant way behind Kubica. All right. So with the safety car now deployed, Sebastian Vettel is the race leader. So you will see the pack bunch behind Vettel, and we're going to chunk this forward to try and play this forward as quickly as we can, so as not to bore everybody, but just so that you're aware of the procedure and what Michael Masi chooses to do in this situation. So it's a long lap in Singapore. There we go. This is the completion of this one. Now, that by the look of the data screen, it was deployed the previous lap, so they've done a full lap behind the safety car now. Is there anything significant going on? Not particularly, I'd say. Just I'm going to continue chunking this forward. If you look at the gap between Sainz here, who's in 19th place, Kubica's here. Okay, Kubica's only that much away from actually being able to lap Sainz. Anyway, we'll chunk it forward again. Keep going. And as this safety car situation unfolds, often cars go into the pits. But what you'll ultimately see happen is what's happening here is these dots all gather together. Okay, as they all catch up with one another. See where they are? See, Sainz hasn't even caught the bunch yet as the field is bunching together. On to the next lap. So now Sainz is at the back of the bunch. The other cars that are actually ahead of Sainz in the race, which is Giovinazzi, Ricciardo, Kubica, Grosjean. Okay, so what we're saying is Sainz is behind Kvyat. So there's 14 cars ahead of Sainz. Sainz is a lapped runner, but there's 14 cars in the race. Places 1 to 14 are all running ahead of Sainz, and Sainz is both a lap down, right, on those cars that have got past him, but he's also he was a minute and best part of a minute 30 seconds behind Kubica. All right. Is he interfering with the race between the leaders? Who are the leaders? Is it the top one, the top two, the top three, the top five, the top eight? Are they the leaders? The top 14, are they the leaders? Okay, where do you draw the line? Who is the leaders of that race? Okay, there's 14 cars ahead of Sainz. Is he interfering with the race between any of them 14? No, he is not. Okay, that is not the purpose of the rule. Even though they constantly present you with that is not the purpose of the rule. Hence, Masi doesn't listen to Brundle and Crofty. Masi employs the rules because he knows what the purpose of the rules is. Now let's have a look what happens with this orange dot of Carlos Sainz. And I believe it's this lap that it does it on. That orange dot, you should start seeing moving through the other dots. And there you go. Watch that orange dot move. There you go. It's starting to overtake. And if you watch my previous video, which is titled Singapore 2019 Commentary, I do a bit on the Daniel Ricciardo overtake and how they call that out slightly differently to what they did in 2021. And then I move on to explaining this bit and the way that Brundle describes this as being optional. Okay, it's not optional. It is a regulation. And that regulation being, once the last lapped car has passed the leader and the safety car will return to the pits at the end of the following lap. Okay? And what you hear Brundle say at this point in time is, they're not going to wait Are they going to wait for him to make it round to catch the back of the pack? And then he's like, oh yeah, well yeah, they're going to do an extra lap now. Well, that's what the rules and regulations state. That's the rules. Why are you suggesting that they can carry it out any other way, Martin? Okay, the point is to try to give the released cars the same sporting chance. Had he have been released earlier in that lap, by the end of this mandatory safety car lap, he may well have caught the back of the pack. But because it was only at turn 9 that he got the order that he could unlap, there's not a great deal of time left with which to unlap, and obviously you're going through all the twisty sections, which is even harder to pass cars. So therefore, by the end of the mandatory lap, he's still unlikely to have caught. That's the way the situation goes. Okay, that's the way it works. But the purpose of the rules and the regulations is to give them that chance. And if the race director feels that if after that these released cars are still disadvantaged, he can keep that safety car lapping for longer to ensure sporting fairness to all competitors is restored. He has done that. He did that at Barcelona, Spain, 2019. He did that in Brazil, 2019. He did that at Sakhir, 2020. And he did that at the Eiffel Grand Prix in 2020. We will see that at the end of this lap, they go racing again. You will see now Sainz is catching the back of the pack, but he's not going to catch the back of the pack by the time they go racing. Okay, we will see exactly where they are. Now remember, prior to the deployment of the safety car, due to George Russell's crash, Sainz was approximately a minute and a half behind the competitor in front of him. Okay, is that gap going to be greater? Now, if he's going to lose time on a competitor due to a safety incident, that race director will keep the safety car lapping. But as long as he's not lost time, he's not been disadvantaged by a safety incident. Look at the cars bunched now. This is how you see a safety car restart. Cars nose to tail, approximately half a second between each and every competitor in the correct running order. The only one that is not is Carlos Sainz, and I'm going to switch to data view. Vettel's just about hitting the accelerator. They're all about to go on to the next lap where they will resume racing at this moment in time, and I'm going to stop there because the race is now getting underway. Let's see how far Carlos Sainz is behind the competitor in front of him, which is now Grosjean, probably due to pit stops. And we'll look. Sainz is now 40 seconds behind, 41 seconds behind. So actually, he has closed from being at 1 minute 20, 1 minute 30 seconds back to now 40 seconds back. So he's been able to gain. He's not been afforded the same sporting chance as every other competitor because there's now just half a second approximately between each of these competitors. Okay, Sainz hasn't been afforded that. So you could argue that that is unfair. However, what the race director has looked at is this balance, this trade-off between how much time is lost out of the race, ensuring that none of the competitors have been disadvantaged due to that safety incident and the deployment of the safety car, trying where possible to ensure sporting fairness between all competitors, right, and ensuring nobody's been disadvantaged. Sainz was still advantaged. He still made a gain of between 40 and 50 seconds on the competitor that he could have been challenging ahead of him. Remember, he was about a minute 20, a minute 30 behind. Okay, so he still made gains. That is the purpose of the safety car. That is what Michael Masi has demonstrated, that he knows how to use the safety car, what it is for, why it is for that. That is what them other at least 9 people in FIA Race Control all know too. Michael Masi was involved with Formula One race control in the 2018 season. He served as Charlie Whiting's apprentice. This scenario took place 5 times in 2018. Masi may not have been present on all of those 5 occasions, but you would have expected him to be part of debriefs with Charlie Whiting regarding every situation. As an apprentice, you would expect that. So there's experience of 5 times in 2018. There is no tracker view available in 2018 for me to show it this way. In 2019, it too happened 5 times. Those times I'm documenting. This is the 3rd one. It's not just Masi. So, number 1 was Germany. Sorry, number 1 was Spain 2019. Number 2 was Germany. 3, this one, Singapore. I'm going to do Russia 2019, Brazil 2019, Austria 2020, Eiffel 2020, Emilia-Romagna 2020, Sakir 2020, Azerbaijan 2021, and then Abu Dhabi 2021. And you'll be able to spot the difference. Until next time.